Hi, how's it going? Welcome back. Some of you are on vacation for all of the hard work that you did to cultivate the best scores that you could get this year for your different class and form of study. Those of you that are SCU with me. And some of you are visiting because you just like to take care of yourself. So, welcome all that are joining today. And those of you who will see this later will be really nice. I decided to still come and show up for those of you who are available to practice. But today I was thinking, what would be something nice that still addresses the body but is not super over the top? You can still benefit from it. And I thought, what a great day for us to discuss subtleties. So, what we'll do today is we're going to focus on the smaller aspects that can make a huge difference in our body and also practices. One of the first things that I'm going to talk about is color as it goes according to Ayurveda, and as well as physiologically in the body, how something as small and nuanced as the hands and feet can really be utilized and supportive of your overall practice in any form of movement. All right. And so before we get started, um, we will kind of get into something simple. Yeah. The last time we all met, we discussed, we did a whole Pilates workout from top to bottom. And I would say that it wasn't necessarily for beginner, but this will be something that everyone can enjoy. All right. So in Ayurveda, we focus a lot on the elements, the five elements, which we call the Panchamahabhutas. And in the Panchamahabhutas, there are the five seasons, the five elements. So not the seasons, but the five elements. So that would be earth, water, air, space, and fire. And I think did I get everything? So, all right. So, getting into the elements and color and doshas, all of these things correlate to form how we move and how we heal, and the different ways that you can approach things, even on a subtle level, especially if you're very in touch with your body. So, as it relates to the colors and the doshas, which form the elements, the Panchamahabhutas, the five elements, color, we would say for instance, pitta. Pitta is known to be fire, which is the fire and water element combined. And a pitta person is someone who can be very motivated when healthy, extremely direct, clear, ambitious, strong, clear-minded, clear speech. When aggravated, can be irritable, sharp, sarcastic, um, you know, not so sensitive. But in terms of color and how that influences color, bright colors, as it relates to pitta, can stimulate the mind, but it can also increase rajas. And rajas is sort of that more feisty and strong natured aspect of that element. The dull and cool colors can be soothing, but it can increase that heavy, tamasic, kind of lazy vibe, right? But what you can notice from just those two colors alone, say red for the bright color and blue for the more dull, cool, and calm color, are how they can affect us in our everyday. So if we're in the middle of the summer and it's really hot outside and we have a tendency to be really sweaty and irritable when it's warm, we probably would not gravitate towards something extremely bright red and orange, something that's going to sort of enhance that quality in ourselves. But if we're someone who's on the cooler side and tends to be chilly, red would be an amazing color, and that would be something for the Vata type, being the air and space quality, the cooler person that would favor more warm temperatures, muted colors, calming colors, soft yellows, soft greens, and purple, right? This person that's a Vata type, which would be like more of the the cold individual that might get a little bit more frazzled and is not as grounded and rooted would really benefit from the not the extremes of a red, but something in terms of the softer version of those colors. So the purples or the greens, right? And that Pitta person would favor the cool, softer colors. That person that's more fiery and rambunctious when they are clear, very ambitious, would favor whites, blues, greens, pastels, and they would avoid the more vibrant, striking colors, right? And then when it comes down to someone who has a more earth rooted quality in who they would favor warmer colors, bright colors. Someone that would be a little bit heavier and may want to take a day nap would be great, would benefit from the red and the orange and the gold and yellow. And they would avoid white or muted dark colors like blue and or black. All right. So those are some of the things in relationship to color, especially as we go into the seasons. You'll find that it's natural for all of these different pastels to come out to celebrate different holidays, like, the pinks and the yellows and the mint greens. And that's totally fine. But if you're a person that tends to be lower energy, it would benefit you to hype it up with something that's like periwinkle, right? Whereas if you're a person that's naturally very high energy and very over the top, it would serve you to do a subtle color like a mint green, a cool purple, something in that range, right? So today I'll just address color as well as smell, right? So visual or the eyes, and then smell for the senses in terms of aromatherapies, right? And aromatherapy is something that can be used in addition to, especially if you're not sensitive and you don't have a lot of headaches or sinus issues. I personally am not a person that can benefit so much from actual perfumes. Depending on what it is, can be really hard on me. I'm not really big into large, strong fragrances that don't really pair well with me. Whereas someone else, they might not have a great sense of smell for whatever reason, whether it's viral related, whether they just tend to be congested. But there's certain scents that really, one that everybody's familiar with is lavender, right? Lavender is known to have this really calm, people use it for bed and you smell it in laundry detergents when you want to have this sense of relief and this almost like a taking care of more maternal type of energy. So lavender is a certain scent that is very reachable and fantastic to calm someone down that might be in that sort of fiery space, right? So these things can be applied accordingly, and it's fun to play around with the concept of these little subtleties and how they can mint. It's fresh and it's really fantastic for all of the channels in our respiratory system. So if you find that you're having a very tough spring, mint is a great way to chewing on mint. It's great for the belly, but it's also incredible just in terms of awakening the senses in that area and mitigating some of that congestion as well. Rose is wonderful, or any floral scent in general can be uplifting, comforting, loving. You've known it, especially for Valentine's. But if you're feeling very lower energy or just heaviness, rose is a great way to sort of almost give you a hug. Rose and geranium. Geranium is more of a uplifting feeling. Geranium also being a flower. But those floral scents are really a great way to brighten and support if you're feeling overdone and maybe on a low frequency in that area. Another thing that's lovely is and can be cooling, believe it or not, is orange, right? You think orange juice, it's but even an actual fresh squeezed orange or just ripping an orange open, there's something about it that can be that can bring down a really extreme energy, depending again on the person's quality. But I'd love for you, for the rest of this week and maybe on the weekend, to find some fresh things at the grocery store, at the farmer's market that see what your body's response is, right? So for someone like me, if I would go to get just smell of a basket of strawberries, they would be awesome. They would smell great. But if I ate maybe a basket of strawberries, it wouldn't be fantastic for my system. It would make me really warm and possibly itchy and irritated, right? Whereas if it were a basket of blueberries, it wouldn't be as fragrant. It would be more cooling, but it would be incredibly delicious. And it has all kinds of other benefits. Yeah. So this week, let's think about subtle, right? And in today's practice, we'll do the same. So thank you for listening. We'll get into it now. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to go and start with the feet. We'll do some things with the hands. Both of these channels have so many nerve endings, really even more specifically the feet, a gateway into so many different parts of our body, right? If you're a person like myself who's seated a lot, especially if you have exams or you're doing schoolwork or you're at the office, it's a great opportunity for you to kind of get into the hands. So what I'm going to do for now, we'll start seated and we'll do some work, just working on the palms, right? So you're going to take all 10 fingers, press them out in front of you. And if you need a little bit of back support, the goal for you is to keep your back nice and tall. All right, so if you can't do that, you will find yourself in front of a wall, okay? The palms are gonna go directly out in front of you. And what you'll do from here is pull the right thumb back and pull back. All through each finger, really working on bringing the heel of the hand forward and then the whole palm pressing, all right? If that's really difficult for you, you can literally stand and find a wall. Using the hand, push it against the wall. Just go to the wall so you'll stand sideways, see in a profile. That palm's gonna reach out. If you can't get the palm to go completely flat, you'll use the palm on the wall and start where you can, all right? And from this position, you'll press out and then you'll bring the fingertips down, all right? Same thing again. Press forward and down, all right? Again, press forward and down, press forward and down. If you find yourself doing this, forward and down, forward, it's definitely a must to go to the wall, all right? This is fairly approachable for anyone, right? So same thing, we'll do the same thing with the opposite palm. If you had a really hard time, you can bend the elbow, pulling the thumb back, pulling the index finger back, pulling the center finger back, ring and pinky. Then all the whole palm's gonna come up as you push. And you'll find, depending on your body, you'll feel a fire in your deltoid, which is your shoulder here, or you won't, all right? And then we'll do the same thing. Push the palm forward, all fingers down. Press forward and down. 3 more, press forward and down. 2 more, press forward and down. 1 more time, press forward and down. From here, press forward, open the arms all the way out to the side body. If you find you can't extend the arms fully, bend your elbows and still push the palms, right? Your goal is to reach the max of your palms, right? You'll press the palms and bring them down. Press through your palms and bring them down. Press through the palms and bring them down. And you'll really lift up through the navel, pull the pelvic floor muscles up as you reach through the palms and bring them down. After about 4 or 5, you'll feel a nice fire in your arms. Push and down and push. Now keep the palms pressed. You're gonna bring the palms forward. Imagine yourself doing a push-up and open. Again, push forward and open. Again, push forward and open. Do 3 more for me. You'll keep going and open. So if you are on a wall, you can do the same thing. Open and forward and open. So if you're on a wall, you can bend the palms, extend the palms. So reach them out and forward. You'll feel a nice burn in the deltoids. Again, and press and close 1 more time and press. Good. Now from here, release the arms. Do a nice little neck roll around. Releasing the neck, shoulders. Look all the way up toward the ceiling. You go the other direction. Listen to the opposite shoulder. Look all the way up and around. And come down. Lift your shoulders all the way up, making sure you aren't overusing them. Release the shoulders down. Lift them all the way up. Release the shoulders down. Last one. Bring them up and release. All right. 1 more section here with the arms. So push those palms all the way to the front. All right. To the front. From here, close each finger. Open all the fingers. All right. So the goal is to make them close individually. Open them individually. Squeeze them down and reach them out, right? The whole time your back is tall. You're not sinking, right? I'm going to do profile so you can kind of see that my back is not sinking down. Squeeze. Reach them out. Bring them back. So your QLs, those back muscles should be working pretty strongly. 3 more, open and close. 2 more, open and close. 1 more time, reach, push, and close. Now from here, circle with the wrist. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can really see my forearms working. Reverse, other direction. 4, 3, 2, 1 more round. 4, 4, really mixing something, isolating, going through the wrist. Good. From here, same thing. Open out. Fists are strong. Circle. 2, 3, 4. Pulling the navel in and up. 5, 6, 7, 8. Reverse it. 8, 7, 6. Please don't sink. 5, 4. Keep lifting. 3, 2, and release the arms, right? Your arms should feel very different, right? Nice and fiery. Nice and fiery, nice and strong, all right? From here, we're going to move a little bit further in. All right, I'll move back a bit. I'm going to use this little box today. We'll get into this next tier in the arms, all right? From here, arms are nice and strong. You reach them out and in. You reach them forward, down, up, out, right? We did this whole series, fist, fist, right? And then from here, we're going to do the whole palm, right? So you're going to let the palm circle, stretch out, circle the palms all the way around, flat. Circle them all the way around, flat. So do the best you can with closing them. If you don't have as much articulation in the hands, it's fine. 3 more. Lift the navel in and up, push, right? At the end, it's like you're doing a little push-up through the arms. And 1. And we're going to reverse it, all right? Good luck. And around, open. In, around, press. In, around, press. In, around, press. In, around, open out to the side. Same thing, all right? So you're going to close and push. Circle, close, push. Circle, close, push. 3 more. Push. If you're doing it correctly, there is no way that you won't feel sensation in whatever part of your arm is weakest, right? And we're going to reverse it. Same thing, other direction. Around and press. Around. This is great for at the desk. But remember, you're not sinking in your lower back. Your body is tall. Press. 3 more. And press. 2 more. And press. 1 more time. Relax the arms, all right? Should feel incredible down the arms. This is great work to do, especially if you know that you're going to be wearing sleeveless this summer. If you're a person that naturally uses weights and you feel, oh, this is really simple, it's the nuances and the nerve endings that are in the hand that lead into the arms and back. All of this work is really going all the way into the upper back unit, all the way down the deltoids, into the rhomboids, if you're really utilizing the full length and strength of your posture, all right? Moving right along, right? So we did the arm circles, we did opening and closing, we did them both here, right? Now, we're gonna go straight into full use, all right? So the palms are gonna open as they were, fists are gonna close, you're gonna bend both of your elbows, you're gonna sculpt, so if I try and stretch out your deltoid, both arms are gonna be in a rounded position, you're gonna push down and stretch out the top arm, and then come back to the center and stretch out the opposite side. All right, same thing again, really utilize your abs. And it's like, how do I utilize my abs in this position? By not sinking. And again, stretch forward and stretch forward. And your goal is to be sure that any position you're in, if you have a rotator cuff issue, if you had surgery recently, this is definitely not for you. Generally speaking, if you are healthy and you've got clearance from your practitioner or doctor, primary care specifically, then you're good to go, all right? And 1 more time, all right? So from here, release the arms. You can do that another 2 rounds, especially if this is something that feels very simple to you, all right? And then we're gonna get into the feet. So I'm gonna start laying flat on the mat with my legs up to the sky. That's gonna be my thing. If you feel like you're not able to do that, or you need a little bit more support, or your hip flexors are very tight, your legs can go to the back wall, and I'll show you both positions, all right? So get your mat if you don't already have one. I'm gonna bring my mat long, And I'll end up facing you again. I'm doing this so that way you can see where my legs are gonna go up to the ceiling, all right? Most importantly, we want articulation. If you're going to the wall, put your butt all the way against the wall. The legs will go all the way up to the wall. If you are pregnant, it's a no. If you have any issues or you're really tight hamstrings, this could be really good for you with bent knees. But the exercise itself is for someone who's able to have their legs at a right angle, all right? You may also do this exercise sitting or lying completely flat. You're gonna reach through the demi point, which is onto the tippy toes, point through the toes, through the demi point, and flex the heels. Demi point, point, demi point, and flex. Demi point, point the toes, demi point, and flex. 3 more. Demi point, demi point, and flex. So into the metatarsal, through the point, metatarsal, flexion. All right, give me 2 more. Point, and we'll do the same thing with a small turn out. So turn the legs out. All right, and do the same thing. Wrap the legs, feeling the inner thighs come together. Reach through the metatarsal. Point all the way through the toes, through the metatarsal, and flex. And if it's so hard on your body, you can do the same exercise laying all the way flat. Most importantly, if you choose to do it flat, which will be great, especially if you have any issues in the hamstrings, or you can't have your feet up in the air, so you have issues with whatever it could be, all right? Get clearance from your doctor, right? Also, it's nice to watch the video and then come back and go, is this for me, right? At this point, you should feel a nice fire in your feet, really utilizing the full bottom of the feet. Very often, nobody touches their feet unless they're walking, and then they're inside of sneakers, so this is a really good one. And if you don't have full use of your toes, this is the opportunity to have it, all right? Now, all right, from here, I'm gonna have myself come up to show you different ways. If you don't have that range of motion in your feet, utilize your wall. Bring your foot slightly behind you. You can go up into the demi point position, which is on the wall. Flex through that foot and then bend the front knee to get that calf stretch, right? You can bend both knees if you want to stretch out the Achilles and then reach through the back foot, right? If your foot doesn't flatten completely on the floor, then you can work on it halfway, come up a little bit more, press down and through, and then extend the leg. If you want a little more, you can put your toes on the wall, right? But for now, let's just do this nice and simple, opening up the front of that heel, and then you'll switch feet. Same thing, nice and strong. Notice the whole time I have this really strong position in my belly. And this pose, without saying, it's the same position we had earlier on in the videos when we've done Virabhadrasana, which is Warrior One, okay? So bend that knee in the front, bend the knee in the back, see where you are in your mobility. Extend that leg, and bend. Extend that leg, and bend, right? And then from here, come on up, right? So the other variation, same exercise, right? We were on the wall. The other form of this exercise that we can do while seated, as long as your body has that mobility, you can do the same exact thing with the legs lengthening in front of you, all right? So you would be in a right angle. This is great if you have the mobility in the hip flexors, right? So we did that whole series where you point through the toes, bring the toes up, flex through the heels, and we did the same variation, pointing to the toes, point through the feet, metatarsals, and open, right? So from here, you can stay on the wall. I'm gonna do the second half seated up. So those of you who have the strength and mobility in your upper back, you're really utilizing lifting up in the belly. If this is hard for you, you'll stick something underneath your pelvis, all right? And move forward. So from here, we'll circle the legs around, forward, and lift, all right? And this is also borrowed from the Padottanasana series, right? One, which we've done way many videos ago, yeah? And circle around, really a lot of work in the belly, right? The feet are moving, but the abs, in order for you to stay tall, they are on. 2 more. And one more time. So sit up. I keep reminding you. And if you need, put your hands behind you. Don't kill yourself. If your hip flexors are on fire, stop right now and get something to support yourself, all right? We'll reverse it. Other direction. So we went down, around, and lift. Let's go out, forward, and up, all right? This is much easier for me personally, seated upright for my feet themselves. We're upside down, there's almost this fire that happens through the feet, all right? Utilize it, really pushing through. You got to reach through your legs in order to get the range of motion fully utilized in the feet, okay? Right, now from here, let's bend the knees. Let the knees open, and we're gonna sit up nice and tall, right? Allow your legs to open. Again, if this is too hard on you, you can use a chair. And you'll just literally, utilizing the spine, you're gonna round the body, drop the head, releasing the head, and then slowly stack the spine, pulling the navel, releasing the head, and stack up. Get tall, get tall, get tall. Once more, round the spine, pulling the navel in. Notice I'm not just flattening, but I'm utilizing the belly to stack and round the spine. And then stacking the vertebra up, squeezing the glutes, engaging the feet, pressing them against one another. Using what are called the bandhas in yoga, or the pelvic floor muscles in Pilates. And exhale, round your spine, drop the head all the way down, and stack the vertebra all the way back up. All right? And rest. All right, so you get that profile. Now, I want to work on the feet on the hands and knees, right? You can do this same exercise seated. I'm going to show you a modification in a moment. But tuck your toes behind you. I like doing this version because you can do one foot at a time. So then you can open up the feet, right? Most people's big toes, you can't push all the way back. It took me a really long, maybe almost a year, to open up my full use of my big toe. Why? Because I had clearance to do that, right? So if you find doing this is already ridiculous, it's not for you, and that's okay, all right? But if you find that you can do it and one foot's tighter than the other, you can tuck one foot, right? I'll do this one so that way you can see, and you'll push back, taking a nice deep breath. Make sure you're not pulling your ribs down. Pull your navel in and up while you're doing that, and reach back, and then go back to all fours, and then switch, all right? Pull the navel and reach out, and the gaze is out, and come back. Same thing again, and push back, and return, and push back. It should be nice and simple, shouldn't feel excruciating, and if it does, it's your responsibility to really be mindful and switch it out, all right? And if that was okay and you can do both feet together, then do so, all right? Onto both toes, push back, and come forward, and then you'll do the same thing with nothing, right? Stretch, but sometimes this is a stretch for some, and bring it back. Tuck the toes, reach back, and to all fours, and come back. So nice and simple, nice and easy, right? If you want to graduate the movement, you can press down to stretch out the feet, lift the body off the ground, lower the knees, and shift back to stretch the toes. And come back, lift off the ground, and press into the tops of the feet. And come back, tuck the toes, lift up, and lean back, stretching. And come back, untuck the toes, and push down. All right, we'll do that one more series, one more round. Tuck, lift. Remember, you don't have to bring the knees off. Those are for those who want a little bit more of a challenge. And untuck. All right, so you have that whole series down. So the next round, when you go into the next series, this is called, I'm gonna keep doing what I was doing because it was enough, right? Otherwise, we're gonna walk back, right? So you're here, you found that you can do it with both toes. You're gonna walk your hands back. You'll feel a nice sensation in the big toe, right? And if this is good, fantastic. If it's too much, go back to this position and just stretch out the feet, right? Again, the subtlety. Look on a chart, you can Google this, and just look at what this part of the foot represents in the rest of your body, all right? It'll tell you a lot about some possibilities of what's happening in the body and why that area might be so tight, right? And from this position, if you're good, you can come back a little more, take a nice deep breath. Exhale. You should probably feel something. And breathe again. Exhale. Now remember earlier, we had the option to unhook one foot, right? And this is my tighter foot, right? And if you want to go back more, you can. So you'll be on one foot. I'll show you from this angle so you can see. This is a big, intense stretch for me, right? On one foot. It's very, very, very strong. We'll breathe here. And exhale. Give yourself 2 more breaths if you're here. Otherwise, remember your modifications. You can be here. 2 more breaths. Good, and unhook that foot. Okay? Same thing, other toe. All right, breathe and shift back. If you have a toe injury or you fracture, it's not the place for you today. And breathe. Good. I'm going to come up for a couple breaths. This foot is a lot more open for me, as you can tell. And breathe. This is very, very common in opening the toes, opening certain channels, and just really utilizing the whole foot, seeing what kind of mobility. Most people don't have that level of mobility. Good, and come on forward, all right? Some of the other things that you'll find in certain practices is you can come on your tippy toes, right? Take a nice deep inhale. We'll do a couple more things, and then I'm gonna let you run away, right? And we'll breathe, inhale, just squatting with the knees forward, not turned out, and then allow the arms to come all the way up and breathe. Again, if this is too much for you, you can just sit down with the legs crossed here. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice my ribs are completely open. Pull them in and up. Good. And then if you really want to have a good time, drop your knees. You'll have both of those toes tucked underneath you. Arms are going to come up. Give yourself 5 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Breathe in. Exhale. Good. Switch the palms in front and reach them back up. If your feet are dying, unhook them or come up just into this position and breathe. And exhale. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Breathe in. Exhale. Really respect any boundaries your body's creating for you. Like mine said, I had enough, so I'm going to come up. And exhale. Good. And then unhook your feet and have a seat. All right, great. How do your feet feel? They should feel very different. Do they feel like, oh my God? All right. And if that wasn't something that you could do today, it's not a big deal. Like you just got to find what works for you, right? Another way of kind of utilizing that way is if we've done ankle cranks before in a previous Padottasana 1 video, right? This is a great way to start kind of opening up that space and that channel in the foot. Because remember, at the bottom of the feet, like some people can't move their big toe at all, right? So, if you find you're in that sort of position, you can put your foot on the ground and then do 1 foot at a time. Lift up just like we did in the beginning with the hand. Lift that big toe. Try to get that range of motion. Lift the other toe, second toe, middle toe, the ring finger toe, and then the pinky, and then stretch them all. You start in that same position on the feet. Same thing, opposite side, right? Big toe, and it feels amazing if you actually do it. Another way to approach it is if your toes aren't as mobile and you're not ready, just roll your feet out with a ball, right? Get a towel and put a towel on the bottom of the feet and do 1 foot at a time, right? Grab a t-shirt if you have one. Just pick up your foot, stretch out the toes, open them. If you don't have range of motion in your feet where you can do this, because we're born that way with movement in our feet, most, not everyone, right? Then it's an opportunity for you to really get in there. Because guess what? If you're not utilizing the full use of your feet, you're walking around in the world and not fully articulating through the gait of the bottom of the foot. And that creates so many problems, right? So just acknowledgement, right? Acknowledge the bottom of the feet, acknowledge those points in the feet, literally just giving it some, hello, you're there. I appreciate you carrying it into the world and throughout the world, and utilize sneakers and shoes where you can use your feet, all right? Everybody has an event to go to that sometimes we wear shoes that are not very kind for our feet, but the least you can do is at the end of the night when you take those shoes off, you look at your feet, you thank them, and you just give them some pressure, give them some tactile trepidation, and just, open them. get a massage. You know, come to the clinic at SCU, Abhyanga, Ayurveda, and let us take care. All right. Otherwise, I'm so grateful that you were able to join me again. So today's theme was subtleties. I hope that you benefited from this and that you were able to understand that something as nuanced as the hands and feet can really just open up a gateway. It should feel very different if you had a chance to do even just 2 or 3 of those movements. The palms, how much blood flow gets through the system and utilized through the body, and how those small subtleties can translate in color. They can translate in sound, which we didn't cover today. We just talked about color and scent, but it can really enhance some of the regular practices that you have. So if you get up and your thing is to weight lift at the gym, maybe you do your shower and you use a body wash that has a fresh mint smell or something that's more rigorous and eucalyptus and awakening. It really makes a difference. And in the evening, you go to your lavender scents or you go to your frankincense. Things are a little bit more grounded and earthy to kind of promote an evening where you're really lying down and resting. Or if you've had a grieving situation or you've lost a loved one, something like floral, rose, and those sort of scents are really supportive. And they can be incredibly small, but really big when it comes to self-care, all right? So again, you don't have to do it alone. You can meet me here every Thursday at 12:30, and we will do it together, all right? Looking forward to the next time we meet, and until next time, see you then. I'm Natalie, and I'll join you next week. Ciao.